Hello, Pickle people. We are back. It is another episode of Is This a Pickleball Podcast? This is our second time recording the intro because we've had some technical difficulties, but you know what hasn't changed? Wilson, your background, that looks great. What kind of CGI is this? What's going on behind you?
Yeah, so this is my Christmas tree. This is the other side of what you guys usually see, my medals in the wall. I figured I would put this Christmas tree to use and use it as my background for the holidays, right? I mean, how often do we get to see such a nice tree out in the background? So
Your tree looks great,
yeah. Do
Wilson.
you guys have a
Thank
tree?
We do. We do have a tree. Every year we get a tree over at a lot over in
Oh,
Hollywood.
fresh tree.
A fresh tree. Yeah, I did not grow up with those, but my partner and I, that's our little tradition, and usually we drive it through right in front of Grauman's down Sunset Boulevard, and yeah, folks that are from here probably know that's not the nicest drive, but it's always kind of like an iconic moment for us. But this year, the GPS had a weird setting and we ended up going a different way, but it was a nice route regardless. But yes, and my parents were actually in town when we were setting our tree up, so they got to help decorate, and you're coming by soon, so you'll get to see
Yes.
it for yourself. You can vouch. You can tell people on the next pod my apartment doesn't look like this dumpster fire behind me in every room. It's just we reserve all the chaos in here, but I'm sure there are some viewers, some listeners that probably have some similar issues if they are paddle or gear addicts. Maybe they have some issues like I do. Comment down below if you need more space, if you've got maybe a family member that says you're crazy, and if you are, you're at the right place. Why don't you just subscribe now? Because the Matthew K. Pickleball channel, we are enablers of this addiction. If you want free gear, this is the place to be because just to really highlight it real quick, we got a few outstanding giveaways. We're giving away some Pickleball Effect cap coins with my avatar video. Make sure you check that out. A 6-0 quartz paddle with the black opal review. And then we have some, like this is probably your last chance. If you want a free Quanta paddle from Rhombus, definitely go enter that. The details are in that video. There's some free Bodhi accessories with the Vatic V Soul review. And then even a pair of Soleil's pickleball shoes over with my Ruby Pro video. And those last three, those are probably going to happen ASAP. So if you want to win any of that, make sure you check out those videos and don't forget to subscribe. Give this video a like. It helps things out. And that's all I got on the reminders. How else are you doing, Mr. Wilson? I know we're a little discombobulated because we're doing the intro twice. And you know what? I'm not sure we're the best actors. I like doing it like we had such a good intro and then we tried to recapture it. Maybe I'll be able to edit the other one back in. I thought, but folks, we're actually real people. We have real convos. This is not all scripted out. But how are you right now,
You
Wilson?
know what,
Did you have a good
guys?
week?
Blame Matt for using free trials all the time.
Don't give it away. Oh my gosh,
Um, no,
so embarrassing.
I'm excited to actually celebrate the holidays with you this year. I know we've known each other for over a year, but although I'm excited to visit your house, I really want to see this room specifically. So I might have to do a live stream. I don't know to
All right,
our
Wilson.
three
I will
followers.
let yeah, our three. I will let you look in this room, but the other guests, Wilson's coming to a white elephant that my girlfriend and I are hosting, and I will let you see this room, but not no one else.
Okay, I'll
No
keep
one
my
else
mouth.
can see this right now. This is terrible. No, like don't tell people this room exists. Like just I'll show it to you and then we will sneak you away.
Okay,
This
okay.
is a embarrassing. But all right, I'm glad you're looking forward to that, and I'm glad I know you have gotten to play some pickleball this week. So
Yeah.
thank you for doing that. So we have something to talk about folks, been a little MIA, dealing with lots of stuff post holidays, but I also am trying to squeeze in some major dental stuff before my insurance runs out. And it's been rough. It's been rough. I had to get a surgery, a sinus lift. It's a long story. I'm getting some implants. It's a long story, Wilson. You don't want to know. But the moral of the story, folks, take care of your teeth. And really, if you clinch or grind, even if you have no money, find it and get a night guard ASAP. If you need a good deal on one, I know of a company that makes high quality ones that are comparable to what the dentists sell. They used to be on Amazon years and years ago, but now you have to go through a site. But maybe I'll link it down below. It's like, I really waited way too long, and I'm apparently a clincher and a grinder. And yeah, once you wear that enamel down, it's kind of like a pickleball, dude.
It cracks.
There's no getting it back. Like, it cracks, you're done. You gotta get a new one. So I've been paying for that for years. Yeah.
I also I occasionally grind. I wake up with my sore jaw and stuff. So I do use a mouth guard as well. Whenever I remember. But I just buy the ones off of Amazon where you boil and you bite down. So
Okay. I mean, those are fine. Like, they're better than nothing. But
yeah.
Wilson, actually, I'll make sure you get the link, because the reason you're forgetting is because those are really uncomfortable. And so I will send you the thing. They send you a kit. Anyway, this is a sidebar, folks. I will talk to Wilson about this later. But I'll leave a link if anyone else is having these issues. But dude, wear your night guard. All right. On that note, I did want to check in on. You didn't get anything on Black Friday, right?
No, you got your little camera. You get that yet?
Oh yeah, no. I got the Extra Muse vlogging camera from TikTok Shop. I was going to make a ton. I was excited. And I had been sitting on pulling the trigger on that for years, because I told you, I just want to use the equipment I have. But no, it got delivered to the wrong house. They sent a photo. It's delivered, and it is not my porch. I do not know where it is. And it's TikTok Shop. And the process to deal with that seems not very easy. And so we'll see what happens. At this point, I hope I get my money back. I don't know. What's crummy is, I bought it on sale, and that sale's not going to be there anymore. So if I get a refund, I won't be able to get it. So maybe, folks, it's a sign from the heavens that I'm not supposed to, bring more content around. Maybe just stick with what I've got. Maybe that's what it's like.
Did you?
I don't know.
Did you try seeing if you recognized the porch or something? I don't know. Maybe go for I did that. Yeah, it was supposed to have been delivered at 10:30 last night. Maybe it was 9:30. Anyway, I went out on my street, and I was looking at the photo and the chair that it was on, and seeing, and it's not one and I walk Buffy all the time, so I know how the houses look. So, but anyway, that's a bummer. Hopefully no one else had a Black Friday bummer. But if you feel like you missed out on Black Friday, if you're still jonesing because you're a gear addict for a good deal, I've got to share a major deal alert that just pinged on my radar. And I don't even know if you know this, Wilson, but 11/6/24 is doing 12 days of Picklemas. And so they're going to be doing a deal a day, or a deal, I don't know how that works. 12 days of Picklemas. Christmas pickle. But yeah, they're running these crazy deals. The one deal that stuck out to me, I think it was maybe their day one deal. They were 11/6/24's power paddles, the latest ones. Those are usually $169.99 before code. They were doing a deal one day only. The lavender versions of that were $99.99. No way.
Yes, you could still catch it as of the recording of this.
Okay.
After promo code Matthew K, $89.99. So that's crazy.
For a
I don't know
power
what's
paddle,
going
for a
on.
Gen 3 power paddle.
Correct. For their take, yeah. Just the lavender variant. So that's pretty wild. So I don't know what else they're going to do, but folks, keep your eyes peeled. And right now, it looks like promo codes are stacking. So make sure you use promo code Matthew K. And that's my major deal alert. And now I actually had, before we get too deep into the pod, I had a question for the audience. I need folks to comment. All right? All right. Here's the deal, everybody. Sometimes Wilson's schedule and we can't get in sync. And so I like to also have, I try to do some interviews every once in a while on the channel. It gives Wilson a break, and then it lets me talk to somebody else about some stuff. And it also, interviews, sometimes I can, record it in advance, and then if, Wilson and I can't record a pod, boom, I got that piece of content ready. So here's what I need. I need some ideas on who to interview, and a couple that are I think could happen. I think I am going to interview David over at 11624, the owner, eventually. I think he's down and interested. I think that'll make a good interview, because I also want to know what's on is it on the horizon, what's coming up for 11624, because they didn't do the foam paddles, and they've been a little quiet. And folks, I don't know if you all know this, but I'm one of the first reviewers of 11624's gear. If you scroll down my old videos 2 years ago, ancient times for pickleball, I reviewed their very first paddle, the YSF, and they've come a long way. I've talked a lot about 11624 on the channel, especially I did a whole video about what I think makes the best kind of pickleball company. And they are exactly that. It's a company that's innovative, but budget conscious. And so check that video out if you haven't. There's a lot of good info in that. And then, I don't know if this can actually happen, but I think Zane Navratil, the professional pickleball player, would maybe come onto the pod. A long time ago, I was posting and tagging him in some stuff, and he said, let's collab. I think he might have been delirious. I think it was he was actually overseas at the time, and he probably thought I was somebody else. But that is hanging in my DMs, and so I definitely feel like I could follow up. So if you guys have questions for him, maybe throw those down in the comments. I kind of want to get his perspective on where he sees pickleball going, because aside from being, or pickleball gear as well, but because aside from being a pro player, he's a commentator, he's a really great content creator, and I think he would just be fun to talk with. I don't know, Wilson, maybe that could be a 3-person pod. I don't know if my free trials will allow that one, but maybe you could contribute, help me do that, because you know a lot more about strategy. But I don't know, that wouldn't give you a break, but maybe that could be fun. Yeah. But folks, who else, and Wilson, if you got ideas, comment below, but who else would be a good interview? Let me know. I want to know. All right, and before we move on, one last thing, and then we've got some gear alerts, we've got some testing that we're going to talk about, but I did want to do a quick fit check first. Mr. Wilson, what do you think about this hat?
Spiffy.
Spiffy? Holy smoke. Spiffy, spiffy, spiffy. Well, this is from a company called Beyond Measure Pickleball Company. And I can't get enough of corded hats. I love me a corded hat. This is a great looking hat. Promo code Matthew K works over there. And then they also have a ton of great accessories, which I couldn't find, but I've now found. But this is Beyond Measure Pickleball Company. They've got overgrips, all the colors you can imagine.
Can always go for some
overgrip.
overgrip.
And then they also have, can never have too many overgrips. And I like seeing new overgrip companies on the scene. I think I want to keep those prices low. So I think competition's a good thing. And then one thing we're seeing less of is tungsten weight. A lot of this is being replaced with the weighted tape, but they have tungsten tape in 2 varieties. They've got it 0.5 inches by 60 inches is the rolls, and you can get it 1 gram per inch or half a gram per inch. Promo code Matthew K works over there, but dang, that is a good looking hat. I do have to say so myself. I love a corded hat, and pickleball companies, they don't always have get the corded hats. And I like it. And but then that's not all. On a fit check, whew, this was not planned, folks, but Wilson and I are both wearing t-shirts from a company called The Third Shot, and they've got pickleball themed apparel. And my shirt came in a nice package, a little tube that came with a Franklin pickleball, which I did not expect. I don't know if every shirt comes with that. Did yours come with that?
Yes, it did.
Good.
That was always a nice surprise.
And
I mean, they're not cheap.
Yeah,
pickleballs.
I did not expect it. No, they're not. So it was a name brand. It was the real deal. So that was a nice little surprise. I don't know if everyone gets that. Maybe we got the VIP treatment. I'm not sure. But they definitely have a ton of designs to choose from. There are huge graphics on the back. They've got the subtle on the front. PSA, though, companies, get us some big graphics on the front. Like, not just the little graphics. I like big graphics on the front. Like, first off, it's easier because it's on the for camera. But also, no one's watching me from the back. I need to intimidate across the net. So I need my big. You got your little octopus arm there. I need the intimidation on the front. But I do like the colors that the Third Shot has. Lots of options, tons of designs. I'm trying to get set up with a promo code. You can try promo code Matthew K. I don't know if it will be live or not, but that's what I got. How do you like your shirt so far?
Ooh, they're very comfortable. This obviously, when I rushed home from work, if I'm in basically all black, and I'm sure in my previous podcasts, like many podcasts, you'll see me wearing black and stuff or gray. So that's usually a little note that I rush home just so that I can get onto the podcast with Matt. But today is my day off, so I get to wear a little more casual wear, and it's always nice. So thank you to the Third Shot for providing these athleisure.
Yeah, they feel breathable. Sometimes I like
They are cotton though.
like
Do you
no,
play in cotton? I personally can't because I get too
no,
sweaty.
I don't. Yeah, I don't see that. Like, what I like is you have your athletic apparel, and then you have your pickleball themed apparel. And I like, this is a shirt that I would just wear on like in my life. I wouldn't probably I know some people play pickleball with them, but the way I do my laundry, if I wear a cotton shirt and get it sweaty, it's really hard for me to get clean because of that's a long story. But anyway,
TMI.
I wash like in cold. It's not TMI. I wash my clothes, but like I have a system. Never mind. Let's move on. But this is breathable. I don't play in 100% cotton. No, I don't. But one of our friends does, because I see him freaking soak through his shirts. And that is that. Yeah, if I sweat, if I got that much perspiration on a shirt, I would never be able to get it out. I would not. But anyway, all right, enough of that. Check out Beyond Measure Pickleball. Check out Third Shot. They got some cool apparel and accessories. But now let's move on to the meat of today's podcast. What is the beef of this burger? And it is, what are we testing right now? This segment is presented by our friends over at SwiftNet. If you're hunting for the best portable pickleball net, something made out of aerospace grade carbon fiber, check them out. Promo code Matthew K does work over there. But I do believe, because I had the dental issue, so I haven't been playing, you're carrying us today, just like you do when we play doubles. And so what are we testing right now, Mr. Wilson?
Yeah. So the big thing that surprised me was from this company called AIREO. This is their Cyclone, and I think this is their premier paddle. It's an all foam paddle I believe it has a floating core, and I was very surprised by its performance. It is very powerful. It's up there. For example, I think it is equivalent, if not slightly more powerful than the LUZZ Inferno. It is above, in my opinion, it's above the Loco. It's up there. I would say this is like top three most powerful paddle. It actually remind if anybody has ever played with the Flick F1, this gives me that those vibes. It's really it's loud like the Inferno, but it plays like the Flick F1. I really like this, especially the shape. It has a longer handle than the F1, which really attracted me to this paddle. Um, the thing you notice though, it is loud, just like the Inferno. It doesn't get the it doesn't have the same grit as the Inferno though, but I was still able to shape the ball. Um, I think it's probably based. I think the spin and everything is coming from the core versus just the surface texture. Yeah, so this is a very powerful paddle. I would say this is top three. It's like I said, it's above the Loco. It's probably slightly more powerful than the Inferno. Watch out, boomstick, right? Uh, yeah, so I don't know
Ah,
the data, the stats or anything. Maybe Matt can help us out there.
all right, Wilson. Thanks for tagging me in. But yeah, this is a 16 millimeter paddle. It's elongated. The dimensions that they list are 7.51 inches by 16.46 inches. Has an unusual circumference for the handle, 4.05 inches. And then they are saying T700 raw carbon fiber. And the advertised swing weight is 117, twist weight 6.53. But this is the thing I think was interesting. The average static weight is 7.8 ounces, give or take.
Just feel light.
And yeah, it definitely feels light in the hand. And after promo code Matthew K, this thing is $170.10. So up in the same like price as the paddles you've been talking about. Well, as I think close to the Locos, if I remember right.
Mhm.
Is that right? After discount, the Locos?
Around
Yeah.
the 170
But
mark,
I
yeah.
actually did. Yeah, I actually reached out to them to get a little bit more info about how the core is built, and so they call it the a pulse foam core, and they described it as an MPP floating core with a particularly formulated foam, which will keep the same consistency with 150 hours of play. And I did dig into this a little bit, and basically, there are three sections. Three, they said rings, but I think they might have been also referring to the core. But there's this PU foaming part, and then a particular, like this, a unique kind of foam, and then the MPP. And to be honest, I looked at an X-ray of the pulse foam core in the Cyclone, and it looks very similar to another MPP foam paddle, which is the only other one I know about is the LUZZ Pro 4 Inferno. And their configurations look super similar. I actually here's the LUZZ Inferno. They're very I mean, they might be identical as far as like shape.
Hmm.
I don't know. Very, very close. And since you liked the LUZZ Inferno, I wouldn't be surprised if they are the exact same. But what was interesting is the LUZZ Pro Inferno is so just like the isn't that funny? Cyclone Inferno. Just like the Cyclone, it's utilizing that MPP material as its foam core, also in a floating core configuration. However, the Inferno is a bit heavier at 8 ounces, same 117 swing weight, but maybe a tad smaller sweet spot compared to this one on paper. This one, the LUZZ Inferno, has a advertised 6.1 twist weight. And then the other thing that is kind of particular to the Inferno is it is dual certified, but that's really relevant to such a small section of the population. However, the price is where it's a little bit different. This is the Inferno is $194.65 after promo code Matthew K, while the Cyclone is that $170.10 price after promo code Matthew K. So we're talking 24 bucks. That's a lot of overgrips. But you're saying they play differently though. And so could you just summarize that again? How did the Cyclone play compared to the Inferno? And I know you're comparing it to the F1 as well. So just to summarize, how did these two stack? And definitely if you have to pull in another paddle, that's fine.
Yeah, so between the Cyclone and the Inferno, they play similarly but different. The Inferno is hollowy, and rigid. It's a stiff paddle, just like some of the foam paddles out there, and it probably gets a lot of the spin from its grit. You'll notice if you compare the two, Matt, the Inferno is much more grittier. Yet I'm still able to get just as much, if not more, spin and ball shaping with the Cyclone. I feel like the sweet spot is bigger on the Cyclone, and I think overall, so this is probably an overall better paddle, better performing paddle. Also, it starts out at a lower static weight, so you have more options to customize without making it too heavy. Um, yeah, and also I do like the small grip because after adding a an overgrip, it still feels relatively small, and I can still use more of my wrist. Yeah, but sweet spot's
Yeah.
amazing, and I like it. You know how everybody says the Inferno is hollowy and loud, and that's the first thing you'll hear.
Yeah.
Um, this is a little more solid and dense than the Inferno. It is still has a lower hollowy sound than the Inferno, but it's still there. But yeah, the sweet spot is much bigger with the Cyclone. I went,
Got it. So
yeah.
I'm thinking maybe the differences are in these outer ring
Mhm.
foam formulations, which I tried to get details on them, but those are kind of maybe they're proprietary. I'm not, or maybe they just don't want the whole formula to be out there. But it's interesting. They look so similar in their diagrams, how the
Mhm.
foams are laid out, but of course we know that like different foams have different densities,
Yeah.
elasticities, and all of that, and so I bet you those are different for
Yeah.
the two paddles.
Also, just a quick note. Although I do love playing with these super powerful paddles, I during singles I went from this back to even a LUZZ cannon. This makes the LUZZ cannon feel like an all court, I swear. So that's something to think about.
What?
I
What?
I'm not even kidding.
You're
I know you haven't hit
you're
with yours yet.
crazy.
It I felt like I could do full swings with the LUZZ cannon. No, no, this is a foam core. That's a Gen 3, but this thing is much higher in power than the LUZZ cannon. I went back to the LUZZ cannon just to get a little baseline with foam versus Gen 3 or foam versus um, just a different paddle, and I was able to take full swings, and I felt like I had more control with the cannon. So the takeaway for me is that I probably won't be using this in tournament play because I'm not good enough. I may be causing a lot more pop-ups and mistakes because of the power that this has. Just like the LUZZ Cannon. Sorry, not the LUZZ Cannon, the LUZZ Inferno. I'll play tournaments with the LUZZ Cannon. That's not a problem. So yeah, this is a little too powerful for my 4-0 me. Um, but it is fun to play with.
All right. Yeah, that's funny. I was just talking to the owner of Honolulu Pickleball Company, and he is he likes to hit hard. He's been hitting with the J6 CR. the upcoming Honolulu PAL, which we'll be talking about on the pod. I have some details to share.
Nice.
Trying to get a prototype, but that'll probably be I'm maybe doing a first look or a separate pod. So make sure you guys subscribe, because I have learned a lot. A lot of it is kind of confidential at the moment, but there is some stuff I am going to share. But he was telling me he likes to hit hard, and he likes to not keep score. And so it's fun to like hit hard when you don't care about the score, because or have a power paddle. And so I think, but of course higher level players definitely can manage that. He was even telling me about his pros that are using the upcoming J6 CR, like they don't have trouble, but us
Common
4.0s or sub 4.0s, whatever we are, it's fun to play with the power. But yeah, maybe when you're really trying to get some help on the nuance side of the game in a competitive situation, it might not be the best. But I like to see some sub $333 power paddles, and so that's, I think, a great little for AIREO. I think that, I don't know if it's AIREO or AIREO, but what do you think? I don't know.
I mean, if you
AIREO?
enunciate everything, it's AIREO, right?
Yeah, I think AIREO, they've been putting out some paddles, but I'm glad to see that they kind of picked up on something unique, because that MPP core, that's not in everything yet, and there are people that can handle this kind of power. So thank you, Wilson, for testing that out. And before we jump too much farther along, I did have a couple questions from some viewers for you.
All right.
Are you willing to answer?
Let's go. It's going to be my first time hearing these questions, so.
All right. Okay, so the first question is from, I would say, a friend of the channel. He's someone that I see comment quite a bit, and he has really been recommending to me, because he kind of knows my play preferences based off of all of the content. He really wants me to, he thinks the Packle EVO, the reactive version, I would really like. But he had a question for you, and it's kind of a timely question, and so I wanted to make sure we covered it. And it's he has a singles tournament coming up. He has the Canon, the Evo Reactive, and a weighted up Quanta R3. And he specifically asked for your opinion. He didn't give a hoot what I thought. So in your opinion, what paddle would be best? He likes playing with all of them. They're all fun. And he's just now getting more into strategy and was wondering your thoughts on a singles paddle in particular.
Let's see.
So I guess it's a singles tournament is what he said. So of those three options, he wants to know what you think he should do.
I would weighted up R3. So this is, everybody who's listening should take this with a grain of salt, because number one, I don't know who this person is. I don't know their rating. I also don't know their play style. But for me, if I were to go into a singles tournament, I would use the Canon as number one, then the weighted up R3, and then the Packle. The Packle may not have enough firepower for myself, in a 4-0 or 4-5 singles tournament, to get it deep enough, get my serves and returns and my passing shots deep enough. So that's why I think the Packle would probably be my third choice out of the three. The weighted up R3 is iffy. I mean, it's okay to have a heavier paddle in singles, because you have more time to swing, more time to react. But the Canon, it's just night and day for me. I can shape the ball better with the Canon and everything. So I think the Canon would be my first choice out of the three.
All right. Well, I don't think I'll say his name. I don't know if he wants to be doxed by Matthew K. Pickleball, although I don't know his real name. But I hope that answers your question, dude. And thank you for watching and always commenting. Your support is appreciated. And then there's there's one other that I thought might be a question to go over, but I reread it and I don't think it's worth digging into. So I think we're just gonna keep trucking along. People have places to go, things to do, and so I just wanted to do a few gear alerts, and maybe put a few things on some folks' radar, because there are some smaller companies that have sent me some stuff that I haven't gotten to hit with yet, but they're all very interesting on paper. And so I just wanted to give folks notice to maybe go check them out. But the first one is REV Radiance. Yes, so this is a new 100% EPP foam core paddle from a company called REV, which is a company I've been tracking for a while now. And first off, I just appreciate that they're coming to the table with a unique design. Like this, I don't know if you can see how they've done these little etchings, these little designs, but I really like that. And I also appreciate that the graphics don't run on to the sweet spot. And I know the peel ply guys, I understand it's all laser and under or whatever, but when the graphics are right there, I'm just worried. Do I have all the teeth and grit that I could? But anyway, this is actually a company that made a paddle I have hit with a little bit called the Zeus, which was a Gen 3 paddle. It was a fun Gen 3 paddle. I don't think I ever hit it enough to get it to its highest power level, but it's a good hybrid option. I believe it's a hybrid. It's at least an AIREO curve. And yeah, it was a solid Gen 3 paddle, but this thing, full foam, and why I'm kind of like alerting folks right now is this paddle is usually $169, but for some reason it's on sale right now for $119. And after promo code MatthewK, it's $107.10. So if you're hunting for a budget foam paddle, full foam paddle, like I think this is one to take a flyer on. First off, it just looks awesome. Yeah, they've made good paddles in the past, and I just got this in the mail, and I just wanted to alert people because I don't know how long that sale is going to go on. I don't know if that's like a lingering Cyber Monday, Black Friday thing, but that's like, for a full foam paddle, that's pretty crazy. And then, I know. Yeah, what do you think about that price?
I love the $100 mark, the $100 level paddles.
He's speechless, folks. Wilson's like he looked at me like a deer in headlights when I asked him that. But that's all right. Yeah, $100 paddles. Hard to like not like get excited about that. And then, all right, folks, we already talked about their hats, but Beyond Measure also has a paddle. They have this called the Ronin, and so they make a ton of accessories, but they do make a paddle. Just got this in, and this is a Gen 3 paddle. And this one, an elongated Gen 3, they're really, I mean, you have to do the YOLO elongated. Yeah, there are some elongated Gen 3 paddles, but what's cool about this one is it's $117 after promo code MatthewK. And so we're going to get these in the testing rotation and give folks some info on them, but I just wanted to alert folks to those two paddles. But that's not all I've got. I got this thing. What were you saying, Wilson?
Oh no. I'm looking like I could see what you're getting.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, Wilson, now you can peer over here. I have Neonic's new Sidekick bag. And I already talked about this earlier in the pod. I did a whole video about Neonic because last year they released some wide body paddles that were very, very impressive. Different iterations of, I believe it was called Flare. I'll link it here. And that line is what they have right now. But what's interesting about Neonic, so they haven't really done a wide release of a paddle, but they've been doing small like ambassador releases. I believe that's how they've been doing it. They have a whole Discord community, and they have been working on different paddles. but they haven't done a full-fledged release this year. If I believe so. Or maybe they released those at the top of the year, but they haven't been, not recently. So they've been working on some paddles, I know that, and then they had a really great Neonic backpack before that I really, really liked. A very simple design. And so if you want a more utilitarian bag, they already have that. But this one is the Sidekick bag. And just like they did with their paddles, this thing is really well thought out. And it is TSA approved for undersea travel, which is interesting.
Nice.
Which is nice. It's got a shoe compartment. You can see the little smelly vents right there. It is expandable, and supposedly it can fit 7 paddles in the main compartment. And that was the test I did first. And to be honest, it can fit way more than 7 paddles. But I have 7 in here right now, including some new paddles from Friday. We're finally going to test some of the new stuff. And then, I don't know if you know this, Wilson, we're probably just going to be for the new year, but finally got some Element 6 paddles. They kind of have like a cult following, and they are in one of my favorite shapes. I believe I've got a set of all their flagships, and so we need to hit with those and give folks some feedback. But now we got a place to put them all. We got this great bag, and one thing I like is this little tuck for the straps. That is a feature I think more bags should have. I very much like that. And then of course you have to have your cord hooks. And yeah, there are other features. One thing to highlight is they've got these very premium feeling zipper things. I forget what you call those. But this is the thing that I need to highlight for Mr. Wilson, because he's a real stickler. It's got a very seeable liner.
I like that. It's gray.
So
it's not just
gray,
black.
High contrast. You can see what you got. Wilson's always complaining about bags that don't have that. But yeah, lots of hidden little things in here. Like, I don't know. They really thought everything through, and so I'm going to explore this bag. It is really hard for me to test bags because I have to unload all my stuff. But hopefully, like this one I really do like. And it seems like it's made of really premium materials, and it does have a 3-year warranty. That includes the zippers. And so that is nice because I hate zippers that get stuck and break.
You're going home for the holidays, so maybe you can give it a try.
Yeah, I think maybe I'll try the air travel part. But while my dad was visiting, I sent him, he had a carry-on. He took a lot of paddles home. So he's the king of the courts right now. But what do you think the price of this thing is, Wilson?
It looks expensive. I don't know, maybe around the 200 range.
All right,
It looks
folks, I did
nice,
not
though.
pay him to say that. It is very nice. What if you had said too low of a price? So after promo code Matthew K, it's $99. And so
Oh,
I like the subtle, yeah.
that's surprising.
Yeah, that's a good price because we've talked about some of the premium bags before, but they're all higher price points. I do think that feels premium. You know, we'll have to test it to see how it holds up. But I love all the thought that's been put into the design. Now, Neonic, stop making a great bag and get back to work. We need some paddles from you guys. Some new paddles. We're ready. We love what you do. We love that you take your time. But come on, we need some fresh releases. And that is all. Those are all my gear alerts. All right, but I do have more. Today's featured accessory. Currently not powered or sponsored by anybody, but I did want to highlight this new accessory, which you don't even know about. This is from a company called Grit. And it is a Topspin trainer.
Ooh.
And I know this is something you've been trying to get with your mom because you want her to learn Topspin. But so the traditional Topspin Pro is not very portable. It's like that is the biggest problem with it. Like you can't take it anywhere, and you also can't really store it because it's kind of like not super easy to take apart. This is what it stores in. This one from this company. And basically it's this little tripod. Ooh. And then all you do is screw right there.
That is so much more compact.
It's very compact. And
that's it.
Then I actually use this with my dad. And so, because he actually holds his paddle kind of oddly. And it does not make, it's not easy to get topspin, but he plays a lot of like indoor. So while he was here, he's actually now going to have power paddles. And he was actually hitting some of his serves long out here in LA outdoors. And one thing, if he's going to move up to like a foam paddle, he's going to have to learn topspin, or he's gonna have to. And so we were practicing, and basically, this, just like the competing topspin trainers, you hit it, and then you're brushing up, and it shows you how to do it. And so this really flexes. So it really is moving around. But the whole point of it is it's portable. And it's from a company called Grit Pickleball. And they're a little bit more expensive than the Topspin Pro, which I don't think they do discounts. But Grit is doing a discount. After promo code Matthew K, that's $180. And I know that sounds like a lot, but right now this guy is making them all by hand. And so you're definitely getting a premium product. And yeah, it is a bit different than the Topspin Pro because it does go back quite far. It doesn't have those net catchers. But I think the portability aspect is like a huge value add for me. And to be honest, it's the storage aspect for me, but the portability is great for people going to rec play that got lines that they have to wait in to just do something productive during their time. And so definitely check them out. And then they also sent over these paddles for us to check out, and I wanted to alert folks to them because these were actually, they had a manufacturing issue. And so you guys hear that? They're a little too gritty, and so they're actually selling these at a steep discount to have at rec play to do, have fun with. And so after promo code Matthew K, $99. So if you want a crazy gritty paddle at a serious discount, they're trying to get rid of that inventory. And so just wanted to alert folks to those. I don't have the info in front of me, but everything's up on the site. Yeah, it looks like it's got the polyester weave, crazy gritty. I guess the name of the company is Grit, so they definitely pushed it. And so I think they're trying to dial everything back a bit. But yeah, maybe we'll head around with these. We'll report back. Yeah. But $100, a fun rec paddle, something to look at. But really, it's the Topspin trainer from Grit Pickleball that I wanted to highlight. And that brings us, well, what do you think? It's kind of nice that there's another Topspin trainer getting into the game, don't you think?
Yeah, it's nice to have some competition. I'm always interested in hearing and learning about training aids. Um, I know not everybody needs it or wants it, but drilling and training will make you better than a $333 paddle. Just that might be a hot take, right? But yeah, so I do like to hear about companies coming out with new training aids. I'm always open to that.
Yeah, and it goes back to what we were talking about on the big podcast no one watched with the holiday gift guide. Like,
Hmm.
if you're hunting for a gift for your pickleball friend or family member, it's kind of scary to buy a paddle because you never really, that's like a personal thing. But getting a training tool or an accessory is like a pretty safe bet.
Hmm.
And I can guarantee that thing they don't have already because I think that's brand new, and they're being handmade. So you could gift that and have peace of mind that they'd be surprised. But yeah, once again, for me, it's the portability and the storage factor because Topspin Pro actually came out with another device, but it's even bigger. And
Yeah.
so I really think we're really at a disadvantage as far as our training tools and whatnot. The apartment life out here in LA, some of
Hmm.
this stuff is really made for people with space. But so I appreciate that Grit took came up with a solution that was compact. But yeah, maybe you should hit with it. I'll make sure to bring it
Yeah.
the next time. It does have a wide throw, which is interesting. But I think that like the Topspin Pro is also like it does that flip back thing. So
Yeah.
there's interesting tools, but really gotta brush up. Gotta brush up.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, just telling that to my dad, it's not working. It's not happening. And so
Same here
I
with my
think
mom.
yeah. Well, I think he grips his paddle wrong, and it's really hard, to try to if you see a mechanical error, it's like okay, you can diagnose it, but ultimately they need to get reps, because
Hmm.
you can fix it for this one thing, but then whatever their ruling habit is will kick into gear. So really,
Yeah.
I think Topspin Trainer is like a habit breaker as well as like a habit creator. But really, I
Mhm.
think you would get one of those like if you yeah I mean you need it for reps, like it is what it is, because
Hmm.
you're not going to
Hmm.
get a top spin reps in a game that you're trying at rec play that you're trying to win,
Hmm. Hmm.
because you haven't done it enough. And so yeah, check them out. I'll make sure to leave a link in the show notes. And that brings us to Mr. Wilson. It's time
Yeah.
for you to make us better at pickleball. It is time for the tip of the week. This is presented by our friends over at BodhiPickleball. If you're looking for great accessories, if you're looking for overgrips, if you're looking for edge tip, whatever you want beside the kitchen sink, they don't have that because they don't want you
Yeah.
standing in the kitchen and hitting out of it. So they don't even bother with the kitchen sink. But everything else, they've got it. Check them out. Promo code Matthew K works over there. Make us better at pickleball, Mr. Wilson.
Yeah. So the tip of the week for this week is a little different from the other ones. It's one common thing I've noticed in tournament play, in professional pickleball, in amateur tournaments, and even in rec play, is when people get called on a kitchen fault, when they're going back for an overhead. And the reason is because you usually push off on, let's say I'm right-handed. I am right-handed, so I push off my left foot. And a lot of times when you push off, you step forward to push off. And when you step forward, when you're already at the kitchen, your foot's already going to be in the kitchen. And when you push off and you jump and then you do an overhead, you end up um, getting called on a kitchen vault. And the reason is because you didn't establish yourself outside of the kitchen before making contact with the ball. So I have two quick tips on what you can do. The one tip one is a little harder, and I don't really do that myself. But what you can do is instead of stepping forward, then pushing back, you can just slightly lean back from where you are, from your ready stance, and then step back. Lean back and then kind of like do a little fallback. But that is not always the best for people who are not as mobile. Actually, for most of my tips today is not kind of recommended for anybody who is not as mobile. If you are in that category, if people love you, just let it go. It's not worth it. But if you're in a competitive situation, um, so you can go for it. So that's number one, lean back and backpedal without stepping forward. But what I do personally is that I will step forward to push off so that I can go do my overhead. But I will drag my feet past the kitchen line and back into the the volley zone, uh, the back. And by sliding my feet, my foot makes contact with the outside of the kitchen, and that allows me to establish myself outside of the kitchen. And therefore, when I go back and I hit an overhead, it's not a fault because my foot that was in the kitchen was being dragged out and into the outside of the kitchen. Sorry, I wish I practiced explaining this, but yeah, drag your feet outside of the kitchen so that you establish yourself outside of the kitchen, so that you don't get called for a kitchen fault. Um, yeah, so that was my little tip because I recently heard some friends getting called on that in tournament play, and I figured, hey, if he gets called on that, I'm sure other people will get called on that. So yeah, drag your feet
So,
out. Uh,
well, so what happens? You do the drag your feet. You
mhm.
don't step in the kitchen. You drag your feet. You've
Establish
established
yourself.
that. Then you rip, bang it
Yep.
down into somebody's nose, and then they call a foot fault. What do you do then?
You can explain you dragged your foot out. You can always explain it. At the end of the day, it's up to in a tournament play, if you have a ref, you can try to explain it to them. Because in the rule book, as long as you establish yourself outside the kitchen by dragging your feet outside and making contact with the outside before hitting the ball, you've established yourself outside of the kitchen. But if you're in rec play, I don't know. I guess that's kind of hard to. You might have to explain it to them, and hopefully they agree with you, and you replay the point maybe, or you just let it go because it's rec play. But just to cover your
All right,
butt,
all right.
I'm just kind of like, hey, try to establish yourself outside the kitchen before making contact with the ball. Um, yeah.
Nice, nice. All right, all right. So drag your feet is the tip of the week. I never expected that to be the tip, but drag your feet. All right, Wilson. I like it. I like it. Not one I would have thought of. I like that you're coming up with some new stuff. But that brings us to the end of today's pod. This is a short and sweet one. But appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget, we have those outstanding giveaways: Pickleball Effect Cap Coins with the Avatar video, Quartz Paddle with the Black Opal review, and then this is probably your last chance to get that free Quanta, those Bodhi accessories with the Vatic V Soul review, or the Soleil's Pickleball shoes with the Ruby Pro video, because that I'm about to run. So make sure you subscribe. There will be some new giveaways. I've got some Honolulu news that is, I think, going to be exclusive to our channel that I will be sharing soon. So make sure you subscribe. You won't want to miss that. But most importantly, I hope you get to pickle soon. Wilson, do you
I
hope
hope
these
every
folks get to pickle soon?
I hope everybody gets to pickle
Everyone.
soon this holiday,
And I hope
especially you.
everyone gets. Oh, thank you, thank you. Well, I hope everyone gets as festive of decorations for whatever holiday they're celebrating as you, Wilson, because
Yeah.
that tree looks snazzy. But really, more than anything, just holidays, pickleball. Just don't forget, it's about having fun.